Hello, welcome to the channel. So we've got a Sound City 120. This is an assessment video just to look at this Sound City and see what it needs. It needs a complete restoration by the look of it. We've done one of these on the channel before, which I think it was the same one. I'll have to check back actually and see if it was a slightly different model, but anyway, it was a 120. So it looks like we've had some sockets removed here, so we'll have to have a look at that. Knobs aren't original, or I don't think they are. These look like Carlsberg knobs, but anyway. Standby and normal on-off switch, there's a pilot light there. Handles missing off the top. We just drop this down. This thing is really heavy as well. One needs an extra ration of potatoes to pick this up. It's quite a beast. So we lift that up there, we can see that the mesh has caved in on it as well, so we need to sort that out. Let's swing it round and have a look at the back. Right, so we're looking at the back and you can see the power cable needs attention. That's not safe. Fuse holders, impedance selector, some red felt tip on there, just faint. I can see it looks like that's been hardwired. That says 8 ohms, so it looks like that's been hardwired. Some sockets and stuff missing there. Got socket, looks like the plastic surround's missing. Thank you, henchman dregs, we're videoing. Someone walking down his street again, and he doesn't like that. So yes, this looks like this has been melted at some time. I don't know what's going on with that. Let's get this back off. That's just the number I use to identify the amps. We shall have some decent screws in it. Get rid of those. Looks like we've got an array of power tubes, although that's probably no surprise. So we have that looks like a mullard to me. It also looks like it's red plated at some time. You can see the let's just go in a bit closer. Right, so you can see this tube here has been baked. You can tell inside there. That's a mullard. That's a mullard, that's a Mazda tube, that's a mullard, and he's been baked as well, he's been red plated. That's a mullard, and the other one on the end's a mullard, and that's slightly baked. So they've all been baked. I've taken them all out and checked that the locators are there, so I know they're in correctly. And these are things you really need to do when you're looking at these amps for the first time. Always take these tubes out and check that the locators are there, because if they're not, then it could have got, the pins could have gone in anyway. So like this one, for example, has got the locator broken off, and this, you can put this in any which way round. So obviously if you didn't get that in right, you could create quite a nasty short there, because if this, we are going to fire this amp up once we've checked everything we need to check. So before we fire this up, I will check the windings on the power transformer, the primary on the start again. I'll check the primary and secondary on the power transformer. I'll check the primary on the output transformer. I'll check the diodes to see that they're not short, and then we'll just check the condition of the capacitors. If any of the capacitors look pretty bad, then we probably won't fire this up, and obviously it'll be fired up on the current limiter, and it'll stay on the current limiter while we're looking at it. This won't come off the current limiter until it's been recapped and restored. So we'll get this out of the cabinet now, then we can have a bit better look, because we've obviously got an array of preamp tubes at the back there, so we can have a look at those. Right, you see we've got a good thick layer of dust. Huge power transformer, but then with 6 EL34s it will be what we got there. Zelex, is that Zelix? I can't remember how to pronounce that keys. But yeah, so that'll obviously be, I wonder if there's a date code anywhere on it, on the bottom. So no date code on that one. Could be anything. Probably not a Mullard. ERA. That's a new one. I must have seen that before, but again, doesn't ring a bell. We'll have to test all of these, of course. When we do restore this, we'll be restoring this later in the year. I just want to get a handle on it. That's another ERA tube. That's got nothing on it, so I don't know about that one. And that's another ERA tube as well. Couple of the shields missing. Right, let's turn it over then and let's have a look in. You can see inside. Caps don't look in too bad a shape. Little pimple beginning to show there, but it's not actually gone through yet. Looking at that one under there, that looks okay. I mean, obviously they want changing. But they don't look like they're disastrous. In actual fact, this really isn't too bad inside. We've got the mustard capacitors, so they're probably going to be good. I mean, obviously we'll test them, but they probably will be. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 capacitors there. 6. That one's might be on the bias, that one. 6. Don't see any bypass. Oh, where's the bypass caps? And then there must be some. Well, I don't see any bypass caps at a glance. Oh yeah, there's one there hiding. So there'll be 2 or 3 of those maybe hiding away somewhere. We need to change the diodes because they've been in there years. Not everybody does that, it's just something I do. So if we look at these input sockets here, we can see that that's all still wired up, and these are just grommets. And they've just took the insert part out there that screws into it. So I'm not quite sure why they do that, and they've done that on the bottom one as well. So in actual fact, we'll just put those back how they were. That's no big deal. Just remove the grommets. I'm sure we've got a couple of those lying around. So it doesn't want a massive amount of work. Now I have spotted something here, and this looks like an adjustable trim pot, and that's going from ground onto pin 7, pin 8, pin 1, pin 7 to ground. Is that going to ground? No, it's not going to ground. Ah, sorry, that's on pin 2. No, yeah, you can see now. No, that's on. Let's just put these. Let's put some stronger glasses on. I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, pin 2. So that's on. So that must be some kind of hum balance that they've fitted there. That's floating around. I'm not really impressed with that, but I think we'll have that removed. We'll have a bit of a play with it though while we're demoing this amp. So yeah, assuming all the transformers are good, we just recap it, swap the diodes, check all the resistors, swap the bypass caps there, and just check that there's no leakage on these mustard caps. Put those sockets back in. Not a lot, not a massive amount really. Surprising. Needs a fair bit of work with these caps, but because obviously you've got to take all these components off to get to them and whatever. But yeah, it's not the thing is, when I saw these sockets like this, I thought, oh no, that'll all have been butchered, but actually it hasn't. It's all, in fact, this thing is pretty much original. The only thing I can see that's been added, but that's easy to remove, and it looks like this cap's been changed at some time, and this ITT capacitor's been put in here. But other than that, 600 volts working. Is that, I say, 6 or 5? I can't see. But yeah, so that's about the only thing really. So yeah, the only other thing is this lunacy here that we need to sort out, and we need to make this ground longer on here. And we've also got that entwined in all of these wires up to the switch, not just, so we need to untwine all of that, because if you look at that, if we go back, if we look at that, you can see if that gets yanked out, it's not just yanking on these cables, it's yanking on all of them. It's just both sides of the switch bar. Yeah, it is. So yeah, we need to address that. No big deal. We can sort that easy enough. Ground soldered on, although there is another cable with it. Should be on its own. Yeah, not a massive amount. So I think the next thing we can do is a bit of testing before we fire this up. It's got no plug on it either, so we need to we'll need to get a plug on it, but I think a bit of testing first of all. I'm not just going to plug this straight in, even though it'll be on the bulbs. So the first thing we're going to look at, I think we need to press that one. Actually, no, we don't. There we go. So let's just have a look what we've got here. That's looking good. And this one. Should see that. Yep. And this one. Ooh. Yeah. Yep, they're okay. Right. So that's that. Let's check the output transformer primary is. So where's the wires from the output transformer? Here. So these two black ones here are center tap on these amps. So let's go to impedance. There we go. So if we connect onto there with the probe, and 1, 2, 3, that should be the plate. And there we go. We've got anything? We have indeed. That looks about right. 16 ohms. Somewhere around there. Yep, 16ish, 15 ohms. Not going to go mad, just as long as I can see a reading. Usually have to leave them on a while and let it settle. So now we're going from there. Just make sure not across the back. Let's try this 1, 3. Yep, 15.9 we can see on there. We'll just go back onto this side. We'll go here. Yeah. So that's good. So we've just got the primaries to test now on the primaries and secondaries on the power transformer. So let's have a look. So here's all the wires coming out of that part. There's the filament. There. Where's that going? There and there. So let's just try those. I think we've got some gunk on here. Yeah, that looks okay. So primer is these two on here. Oh no, not gonna be that one, that's live. That one. Just have a look. There. The outer two then. There we go. That looks good. So that's the primary. Filaments, secondary. Secondary is there and there. 15 ohms. Yeah, so all that looks good. No, nothing untoward there going on. So I think from that, we've looked at these caps. They look in reasonable order. There's nothing on those that really says danger. And if we keep them on we bring it up slowly on the current limiter, and I'll only bring it up so far. I just want to make sure everything runs okay on this amp. Enough just to make sure that we've got signal. But everything looks good there. So I've got to put a plug on it because the plug's being cut off, or it's been robbed rather than cut off, or something. Actually, there's some solder on that, so maybe somebody's had it connected to something, I don't know. So we'll get a plug on it, check the fuses, although again that's not detriment while we're on the bulbs. Any shorts, the bulbs will just take it up, but we'll have a look at these fuses. And that is 2 amp. So that seems okay for this, for the HT, because we have got 6 tubes, remember. So I just think, and what does it say on the back? 2 amp. So yeah, I thought that's about right for that. And then this one, oh, here's a 3 amp fuse, RS one there. You can see. Is that 3 amp? That's for 3 amp, yeah. Yeah, 3 amp. Yep. Right, I'll get a plug on it, and we'll get it on a speaker, and we'll bring it up on the bulb steady. Right, we'll just inspect this power cable before we stick a plug on it. Make sure there's no aha, what is that? It's not gone through the white inside wires, but that's got to come off now. That's no good, can't have that. That's a fail, I'm afraid. So it needs a new power cord as well. And more damage there. But again, not no, it's not gone through onto the, but it's, as I say, that's, once that insulation is damaged, that's it, that's got to go. Right, almost ready. But, I'm just going to put this in here. And I'm just going to check that we are grounded to the inputs. So Switch this on. So the amp is plugged into the wall, but the bulb's out of the current limiter, so there's no connection. And the switches are off. Yep, so we've got ground right through the amp, right to the inputs. So that's good. So, result. So we'll get that. Got the signal generator going through it. And we need a meter to monitor the, so we're going to use the upstairs meter, as I call it. I've got the one on the shelf. Right, so we'll plug into the speaker socket there. There we can see the meter. We can also see the light shining on it, which is a nightmare. So see if we can alter that. We can. Right, got a bulb in. And we've got some volts. That's a very low wattage bulb in there. I've just put a 15 watt bulb in. And that is obviously glowing rather brightly. But yeah. So we'll go up again slightly, and you can see it's going up slowly now. That's 25 that's in there now. We haven't even got 40 volts going into the amp, and I know that because our meter is not lit on the wall, which if we just go round you can see it there. It doesn't light up till we get 40 volts into it. So that tells me that that's looking pretty healthy, because there's probably about 30 volts going in there. 20 maybe 20 volts, 25 volts, and we've got 42, so that's not too bad. So what we're going to do now is go up to a 40 watt bulb, like so. Now you can see the voltage has jumped up a bit more. And that's still reasonably bright, that 40 watt bulb, but it's not too bad. 79 volts and climbing. We'll put the standby switch on now. And you see that didn't make much difference, so, and it won't until the tubes begin to conduct, and we'll need a bit more filament voltage for that, won't we? So still going up on that bulb. And one of the reasons I do this is because you just bring these up nice and steady, and if a problem begins to appear, i.e. we see that current beginning to go a bit high on the wall there, we know that there's a problem with one of these caps. We can immediately shut down. If we just blast all the voltage onto it, then, well, that's just not good to do when it's been stood for such a long time. So I've got 106 volts there now, and that is still creeping up. So we'll just give it another 15, madam. So we've got 55 watts now, and you can really see it's beginning to go up. So we've got to be a bit, just see where that settles. Drawing 180 milliamps now, but this is a big old machine, so I'd say that's about right. We've got 80 volts going into it now and climbing. Now that voltage is climbing at the moment, but we should begin to see that drop when these tubes begin to conduct, presuming we've got filament voltage, of course, which we ought to just check to make sure we have got filament voltage. because it's not showing signs of going down yet. Yeah, there's filament voltage there. There's not a lot, but there is some voltage there, so that's good. So we've got filament voltage coming up. Got 171 volts. So yeah, all looking good. So we'll so it's just gone up a little bit more now. So I've just put a 60 watt bulb in now, so we've only gone up a little bit more, but still nothing yet. But you can see, we go down, you can see now, just you can see the wall, on the wall now we've got 91 volts going into it, climbing, and we've got 180 milliamps still. So nothing looks untoward there, because you've got roughly double up 90 and nice. So that tells you that generally there's nothing bad happening there. If I can hear anything through the speaker, nothing, not a bean, not a bean. Oh, I can hear something, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I can hear something. It's very faint, you probably can't hear it yet, but there is something there. Drawing 220 milliamps. Right, let's go for 100 watts. Now you can hear it. Probably just needed a bit more voltage with having so many tubes in it. Yep. And you can see voltage is dropping now because the tubes really are beginning to conduct. The filament voltages has got higher and the tubes are conducting more efficiently now, so that's going down. Now that really is probably as far as we need to take this. So we've got 135 volts going into it, and we're drawing 260 milliamps. So we can leave it on that 100 watt bulb. Well, we've got two bulbs in, but yeah, it's 100 watts current limiting. Because we just need to make sure that things are working. So we can come down to look at the amp now. Little noisy, and that may be why they've put that pot on there. That really isn't safe, is it? I don't know whether I want to adjust that with it floating around so much. No, I don't. It might cause a short with that, even though we're on the bulbs. I don't like the idea of that, and I certainly don't want to hold it while I'm turning it with a screwdriver. So no, that needs to go. That's ridiculous to put that like that. See, it could be that's making it hum. So Bruit channel's working. Oh, that socket is socket's not good, but it runs okay. But it is just very noisy. Shall we, let's just shut down. And we'll wait till the voltage drains out of it, and you can see the voltage draining out of it. I wonder if they've put that on and lifted the centre tap or something. Because I can see this. Let's wait till that voltage goes out. We'll go in there. So it looks like a virtual centre tap contraption. It does. So have they lifted the? Has the ground been the centre tap been lifted on the filaments? I don't think so, because I've got a feeling that's it. Is it? No, that's not it. No. We'll cut that off. I don't like that. I don't like the way that's mounted at all. I don't. We're okay now. Here we go. Right, let's switch back on. Now it's either going to buzz more or hardly at all. I can't see the centre tap's been lifted, i.e. I can't find it. Oh. So has it been lifted then? Or is there a fault on the filaments? Yeah, that's like... Yeah, you would have... Yeah, because if I turn all this down now... Got some fry. Needs to be on this mid control up. Turn the mid control down. As soon as you turn the mid control, it's acting like a volume, that is. Even when all that, so if I turn all the volumes down, something strange going on there. So is there a problem in that tone stack? I think it's active tone stacks on these. Is there a problem? Sorry, you can't see me turning the knobs, can you? But I am turning the mid control. So if I turn the mid control up, so maybe they put that on because they thought it was the filament voltage. Maybe they put that on because they thought it was a problem with the filaments being noisy. They've tried to put that virtual centre tap on, but oh no. So have they disconnected the centre tap, or is there a problem with the centre tap and it's gone open and so they've had to put that on? Don't know. Well, that's definitely, now we've took that off, that's much worse. And it does have that, yeah. Yes, indeed. So there's definitely a problem there. But it runs, even with 134 volts going into it. It runs, it lives, and I'm sure we can deal with that problem. It's not the end of the world, is it? It's noisy at the minute, but right, let's have a little test, shall we? We'll test on this preamp tube. So if I go there and there, yeah, so there's a problem there, yeah. So yes, imagine how loud that would be with 240 volts going through it. So there's a problem now. We need to check. I mean, presumably this has a centre tap on it. We'll have to check the schematic. I don't remember them not having, but we'll check. But we can just put it, if it's, you know, if the ground if the centre tap on the filament winding is open, then we'll just put a virtual centre tap in there. But that's definitely what's wrong with that. I thought it was, because I thought first of all that's on the mid, but when you find it on these, then you generally, on all of them, then you generally know that there's something not right. So like here, you can see all of them presence doesn't do it. But yeah, so there we go, a quick assessment of this amp and a chance for people to look inside. And generally, if I we open up enough in these amps, you tend to see the same problems. But I have to say, in this one, there's only a mild amount of bodgery in there, and most of that could be put right. So such as, let's turn that on, such as this not being fastened in properly, we just need the chrome insert there. These two need chrome inserts, and they're virtually back to normal. The only other things that's been, obviously I've just removed that virtual center tap because that really isn't safe like that. It needs to be more secure when it's over the tube socket like that. The only other thing that's been done, of course, they've doctored the impedance selection and the voltage selection. Voltage selection is not such a problem, is it? But the impedance selector is, because of it. Well, it's a problem if you're going to use this abroad, but that's very doubtful. But yeah, there we go. So let's just have a quick assessment again of what this amp needs. So it needs the inserts for the 3 sockets. It needs a full recap. It needs a new power cable because we've got tears in the outer insulation. It needs a secure gland for the cable as well, and some new diodes. And then I say, the rest of it we'll just check around and see if we can find any other problems with it. Not sure what's going on. So where it says reverb in and out, so I don't know whether that's been removed or whether it was never connected up. Don't know on that one. There's a bit more investigating needed, because you can see that's where the sockets went. But if they were removed, it looks like they were removed a lot of years ago. I don't think anything's ever been in there. And if I remember, these grommets, Sound City used these grommets, I'm sure they did, and that link thing there, there's no socket in that, so there's no socket there as well. That's just been grommet, and these are different grommets to that. So obviously we know the sockets at the back there, so it looks like that and those, and probably the grommets just got lost there. Obviously we don't know the state of the tubes because we've not put enough voltage and current on the output tubes, and I'm just not going to. While these caps are in, that's as far as I'm going with it. I only need to know it runs, and it runs. So there's a few issues. We know we need a virtual center tap, or we know we've got a problem with the center tap on the filaments. Assuming it's got one, we'll check on the schematic to see that. When we actually start to restore this thing, we'll check more stuff. We'll delve into more what's gone on here with this impedance selector thing going on here, this voltage selector. Make sure that's all safe. But yeah, it's not too bad at all, this one. So that'll do it for this one. So thanks for watching, and you all take care, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye for now.